Hi everyone. My name is N.Jerry, and I'm going to introduce myself to you using the internet. Do a little Google search on myself, and this is what you get, which is not an awful lot, really. I have a pretty small digital footprint compared to a lot of other people. I do have a Facebook, I do have a Google Plus. Interestingly enough, if you click on images, I want to point out that none of these people are me. They seem to have a much more exciting life than I lead, so I will tell you a little bit about me at this point. I grew up in Gladwin, Michigan, and we were the Gladwin Flying G's, which I always found interesting. People wondered how ferocious a G flying through the air actually was. A point of interest: when I went to school, the G actually stands for a goshawk. You see that little bird guy sticking out there? That's a goshawk, and it's a really strong predatory bird. And we actually had this falcon-like bird carrying a G in his talons when that was our mascot. I don't know why they changed it to a G that looks like that, but there it is, Gladwin High School, in case you're wondering where that is. Gladwin, Michigan is just north of the middle of Michigan. Not too far from Mount Pleasant, which is probably one of the number one reasons people choose the colleges that they choose is due to location and being close to home. Here's Gladwin, here's Mount Pleasant, and that's probably only about a 45-minute drive on a good weather. So I went to Central Michigan University after I graduated, and to be honest, I wanted to be a special education teacher, but in my first semester, it didn't go that well. I was not passionate about what I was doing. So an opportunity came to me called Walt Disney World. And Walt Disney World has a college program where they come to the campus, interview students, and hire you for a semester. You get semester credits through the school. Oops. And the experience of doing that. So I lived on a campus there. It was an amazing, we'll call it a campus unlike any you've seen before. Very nice. Worked in food services. I was not a character. The number one question people ask me is what character I was. But I worked in food services. I had the time of my life, and it was then that I had my epiphany, and that was to become a sign language interpreter. So I went to Lansing Community College and entered their sign language interpreter training program, which is an amazing preparatory program. If you get an opportunity, this video here spends about 5 minutes talking about it, and it's well done. While I lived in Lansing, I worked at the Allurophile Cat Clinic, and I was an unlicensed veterinary technician. I did everything from checking in cats and cleaning and bathing cats to assisting in surgeries and patient education. But it might not shock you that one of my favorite parts was the patient education piece. So, but that was my second job to help pay the bills. As soon as I finished with the sign language interpreter training program, I got a job at Charlotte High School in a special education classroom. So this was a classroom of moderately to severely handicapped students, some of which had cerebral palsy. They could hear and understand, they just couldn't speak. They didn't have the motor function to speak, but I also had a deaf student. So I ended up working very closely with a lot of deaf and nonverbal students. And after 4 years, finally decided that I wanted to get back in touch with my original plan, and that was to go to CMU and get my teaching degree. So talk about going full circle. It just took me a little bit longer to get there. So my journey took me from Lansing, Michigan, down here and my husband and I decided we needed to move north, and we found a nice little place in Riverdale, Michigan. We didn't move all the way up to Mount Pleasant because he still worked in East Lansing. But we found this nice little place here in Riverdale on a river and near the Heartland Bike Trail. If you're not familiar with the Heartland Bike Trail, the Meyer Heartland Bike Trail, it runs from Alma. See if I can find a map of it. It runs from Alma to Greenville. It's about 43 miles long. Here we go. So there's Alma. It runs basically through my backyard or my side yard there through Riverdale. Goes down to Greenville. It's still under construction, so when it's done, it'll be like 140 some miles. So very excited about that. My husband and I thoroughly enjoy the biking and the canoeing and the living in the little woods and on the river that we do. So I graduated from CMU with a double major in special education and health education, and found myself employed by Central Montcalm Public Schools at their high school. And after seven and a half years there, they moved me out of the special ed department and into their online learning credit recovery program. I'm into halfway through my second year of doing that. We work not only on credit recovery but also some behavior modification, and we use the 7 habits of highly effective teens, written by Sean Covey. The 7 highly. Which is a fantastic book if you have children, if you have grandchildren that have teens, anybody preteen. They have different versions of this as well. They have like the 7 habits of highly effective kids, which is the same concepts except written even younger, but the book is written really well that even the teens that end up reading this, while it's not their favorite thing to do, it's not entirely miserable for them because it's written in their language, that they can definitely relate to it. But that's what I do. I'm just about done with this master's program. I started a master's program in the ed leadership, got about halfway through it there at CMU and decided I didn't think I would ever become a principal. So I abandoned it, started this program, and couldn't be happier. After this class, I have 2 to go and look forward to meeting my cohorts at graduation. See you soon. Bye.